Yes, here I am to distract you from your work. Real quick, I keep seeing this thing on Twitch in chat. I saw it in OBS in my own chat just now when I opened it up. It's trying to get you to go like sub and give Duolingo money or something. I don't understand what it is, but please don't give Duolingo a cent. Duolingo is trash. They use AI for stuff from what I hear. Just don't stay as far away from them as you possibly can. just make it clear that that's not something I'm promoting there. I don't know if it's showing up for everyone or showing up for like language related streams or something because I have like a translation tag or something on. I saw it on Dylan's stream last night too, but he was playing Pokemon Emerald, so I'm not sure if it's there for select people or there for everyone, but I do not support it. Ignore it. Dismiss it. Tell it to not show it to you again. It's sub to Duolingo. Okay. Alright, anyway. I took a day off yesterday. I got really busy with a lot of other stuff. Wait, Hakanai does work? He does. He does. I've been very busy lately. I don't know how I'm gonna get done the things I need to get done. But I'm trying. Okay, so we had just gotten into the Golden Land to escape from goats. There were two shapes in front of that door. Just things over here. They were Battler and Beato. They may not have been literally covered with wounds, but they definitely seemed to be dead tired. Battler, you can put your cape back on if you want. Battler, leaning against the door, seemed to have finally caught his breath. Beato was also sitting against the door, letting her legs dangle gracelessly. Could the battle against that force really be called a battle? It was more like a mere pushing contest on the increasingly small bit of ground that remained. They had wanted to protect at least Kinso's study, no matter what. And the only fruit of their desperate struggle was the thin bit of flooring that they were sitting on now. Those goats fell into the abyss whenever they had nowhere to stand. So now, with so much of the floor gone, there was no way for them to attack anymore. If Battler thought this, his naive hopes were quickly crushed. Looks like we're surrounded. They probably planned to gather their forces and crush us in a single stroke. Here's the pirate ships. I thought this would be coming up, so that's why I held off last time. Stretching across the ocean horizon that surrounded the door at their backs was an encirclement of countless large sailing ships. As they could clearly see, the decks of those ships were packed with goats, with some of the more foolish and overeager ones spilling over the edges into the emptiness below. Dang, I've gone through a lot of crazy stuff in your games, but being surrounded by pirate ships is definitely a first for me. They probably do possess the strength to break through the Golden Land's perimeter. Those cannons are no bluff. Doubtless, they will be able to use those to smash through the store and pour in. What do the pirate ships represent? Tell me, Umineko ogres. Along the sides of each ship were several open gun ports, each with a cannon pointing at the door. If this many ships all around them fired all those at once, there was no point trying to imagine what would happen next. Battler and Beato grimaced and hung their heads. How long will the Golden Lawn perimeter hold out against those cannons? Character shipping. I see weird stuff on Twitter sometimes. I think it's an account that ships Ava and Natsuhi. But these are married women. They have husbands. They have children. Why do you think they'd be better off abandoning that and getting with each other? I don't understand. I don't understand. Not in the least. I do not know. However, since they are still awaiting reinforcements, after amassing that many soldiers, I doubt the barrier will break that easily. True. I can't think of any other reason to delay your attack without even sending terms for surrender. I hope we can take advantage of this time to give us. I know Beatrice is biting her lip portrait. What's the most popular Umineko ship? I mean, it's on screen right now. Do I really need to answer that? Time is always the ally of the weaker side. After all, we can always hope for a miracle. No, it's absolutely Belle and Beatrice. It's the canon ship. Well, honey. Though it might just lead us further into despair. At that moment, something small and hard hit Battler in the forehead. Ow! The heck is this? Competo? It's me. I know where Bern and the others are. The candy was Lambda Delta's transformed body. She was the only one of their allies capable of crossing the Sea of Fragments. Spectacular. That's the great Lady Lambda Delta for you. They can see us here. Let's talk inside. This is starting to get messy. I thought they couldn't go inside. Got it. Is anyone there? I thought there was a whole thing where, like, they had to shut the door from the outside. So they're gonna go inside and just leave the door open? Or are they gonna have someone else shut it? What is your deal? Stop. When Bella knocked on the door, it opened and Shannon and Ken came into view. You called for us? My apologies, but we need you two to keep a lookout. Leave it to us. When they begin their attack, don't worry about fighting them. Escape to the Golden Land as soon as they start. Don't worry about closing the door. Okay, so it's consistent, I guess. But that means they're planning to ignore the door and smash the Golden Land directly. Making a last stand here won't do anyone any good. I understand. We'll take care of things here, so go inside and work on a counterattack. We shall. We're counting on you. I assume the door just doesn't have any handles on the inside. So, if you wanted to shut it, you'd have to, like, pinch your hand at the door. Cut your fingers off. No one likes that. Battler and Beato traded places with Shannon and Cannon and returned to the Golden Land. Get out of there. We're gonna do this every day, Cat? I mean, it depends on what kind of door, how heavy it is. If there's a mechanism in the door that requires that you turn the handle from the outside, then maybe just shutting it without doing that won't be enough, because it won't, like, shut and lock all the way. Who knows? A gentle rain poured down over the Golden Land's rose garden. The weather here reflected the hearts of those inside it. The quietly falling raindrops spoke for the pain felt by those who could do nothing but hide here waiting for the enemy's final assault. When they returned to the arbor, that piece of Conpeto floated out of his pocket, jumped onto the table and returned to its original form. Chappy. I haven't had a thrill like this for years. Hard to believe I'd find myself in such a tense situation, even after becoming a witch. Let's get down to business. Where the heck are Angie and Berncastel? They're in the City of Books. I've heard of it. They say it's a place where great witches, travelers of the sea, store countless fragments in the form of books. Ooh, this is a good song. You mean the great witch of theater-going drama and spectating the noble city of carefully selected books? Yes. Yeah, that one. The great Lady Aurora is the ruler of the City of Books. Indeed, that would be a fitting place for those two to go. Gotta keep in mind Battler and Beatrice haven't run into her yet. Nice going, Lady Lambda Delta. Hard to believe you could pick out that spot so quickly from all the other possible hiding places. Actually, it was pretty easy. I didn't even have to search, since they're advertising it as loud as they can. They're planning a huge party to celebrate the announcement of a great secret. The secret to the catbox of the great Lady Beatrice, the Endless Witch. Didn't you guys get the invitation? Didn't you guys see, like, the Discord server event? Didn't you see the Craigslist ad for the party? I see. They haven't been delaying their attack because they await reinforcements, but because the party has not yet begun. So in this party, they plan to use Angie's key and reveal the contents of the Book of the Single Truth. You've got it. Aurora hasn't held an event like this for ages, and she's gathering VIP guests from all over the place. The Book of the Single Truth will probably be the party's final showpiece. No, you can't go that way. No. That means we still have a shot at taking Angie and the key back. Time-wise, that may be true. However, there's a really simple... No. Down. Come on. I don't want it running in front of the monitor. However, there's a really simple and obvious problem. What? The City of Books is a sacred realm under the supervision of the Senate. It's protected by a holy barrier. Only a witch at the Senate can enter it. Have they invited any non-senators to the party? They have. It looks like they're being given special invitations, which allow them to enter the sacred realm for a limited time. Invitations. My, now this could be interesting. That's what I thought. However, there's a strict policy on punctuality, so these invitations automatically become useless unless you present them before the party begins. And I'm afraid to say, the party started a short while ago. In other words, it's too late to try stealing an invitation from a guest who's running late. That's right. So what do we do now? Could someone get me popcorn? I'd like some candy flavor this time. As an outsider, I hate to barge into this conversation, but we seem to have no options left. Already done for, aren't we? Can't we do anything except sit here until they attack? I don't have Ultra Rosa today, by the way. I just have Watermelon, which is... I'm just gonna say too strong. The taste is good, but it is way, way too strong. There must be something we can do. That's right. There's just one thing we can do. What's that? We can keep on struggling for each second survival and hope for a miracle. A miracle? So we're stuck defending the LML. Surrender isn't an option. We can only hold out as long as we can, waiting for a miracle. Who do you? What kind of miracle? There's a chance, maybe 1 in a million, maybe 1 in a quadrillion, that Angie will change her mind for some reason and come back. With a probability such as that, it truly would be a miracle. We are here to await Angie-san's return. Yes, this right here is the only place Angie-san can call home. So we must defend it to the last minute, waiting for her to come back. Okay, Goda, it's your turn. Awaiting the return of one's master is a servant's duty. Now that we're here, I, Goda, am prepared for whatever may come. Battle-sama, all of us are prepared. We of the Chiestra Sisters Imperial Guard will fulfill our oath and remain by the late Grady Beatrice's side until the bitter end. 45 here, no problems. I will fight until the end. Finally, a fitting place to die, yeah. No problems from 410, yeah. She's the best one. Yeah. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory will stay with Beatrice-sama and Battler-sama until it's all over. The 6 younger sisters also show their resolve with their eyes. Iron Maiden will serve until the end. The former SSVD's got your back too. I ask that you lend us your power as well. Me? No way. Didn't I just give you some excellent intel? I think I've done more than my fair share, don't you? How do you know that Angie-chan is in the City of Books? I saw it with my own eyes, of course. I never trust anything unless I see it for myself. Which means you're qualified to enter this sacred realm called the City of Books, yes? Indeed. The great Lady Elaine the Delta is a witch of the Senate, after all. I'm the Delta. What's with you guys? You aren't going to tell me to do more work, are you? My, what an unexpected development. Lady Elaine the Delta is the only one who can enter the City of Books. Could it possibly mean? I think that they're just narrating. But this is Lady Elaine the Delta's time to shine. Enough kidding around. Are you people crazy? You're telling me to go, all by myself, and sneak into there one more time, and then bring Angie back out here? The several dozen people surrounding him, the Delta all nodded in unison. I hope Goda nodded too. How stupid can you be? If I save Angie, I'll be crashing the Great Aurora's party, get it? I wonder how they've explained to, like, Goda and the others who all these people are. Have they really explained? I'd have the whole world as my enemy. And what's in it for me? Nothing, obviously. There's nothing you could possibly offer me that'd be worth getting on the bad side of Aurora and their monster fiends. Monster friends. Oh, you get to see the book. No, Goda doesn't get a fight. You see it. Maybe in one of the side novels, but probably not. I'm trying to think, like... He's never really had a good one, no. I mean, to be fair, neither has, like, Kumasawa. No, Vergili doesn't count. Not completely. I don't think it really means much. We get to see Genji throw knives at butterflies once, so he gets something kind of cool. I don't think Goda ever gets anything even on that level. Vergili as her stand, yeah. There you go. You'll get to see a happy ending where Aurora and Bernkastel's schemes are crushed, Angie comes back, and everyone makes peace with one another. What do you say, Lady Lim de Delta? There could be no greater thrill. If you pulled off such a marvelous feat, you'd be able to forget your illness for 1,000 years, would you not? We're begging you, Lim de Delta. Lend us your power. Plus, it'd be more fun if everyone were her enemy, probably anyway. It'd be less boring, right? She'll be on the run like Stasia. She'll get her own games made. Please, please, we're begging you. Help us save Angie. Everyone surrounded Lim de Delta, asking for her help. Please, Lady Lim de Delta. Only you can do this. Give us your strength. I'll show you the greatest of tales, and you'll get to see it from the front row. Don't look at the fact that this is episode 8, the last episode. I'm definitely telling you the truth. So please, lend us your strength. Shut up. Shut the hell up. And the Delta leapt to her feet and crushed the cup of popcorn in her hands. Sweet candy-flavored popcorn flew all over the place, hitting everyone in the face. It might have looked funny. However, no one laughed. And the Delta's face was filled with a rage that none of them had seen before. Please stop getting the wrong idea. I'm a spectator. A spectator. I'm just a guest who was invited by Beta to come and watch this game. So why should I risk my life for you people? You think you'll get a happy ending if Angie comes back? Are you really that stupid? Bern and her forces will come sweeping through here, mad with rage, and wipe us all out. There's only one reason I'm here. And that's because Leon over there said I'd get to see an interesting show. Yeah, now I'm sure I'll get to see a sublimely interesting tale very soon. A sad, sad tragedy as you fight desperately against Bern's forces and get wiped out one by one. Well, I'm just not playable? Really? That's really weird. I don't know why they didn't make her playable. No, she's playable. I literally just checked. She's right there on the front page. Yeah, you can play as both of them. Let's see, you can play as Battler, Angie, Jessica, George, Rosa, Shannon, Cannon, Beatrice, Lucifer, Virgilia, Ronave, Ava Beatrice, Chester 410, not the others, and the Delta, Bern Castell, Erica, Deliner, Willard, and I think it's so... Is it okay to mention the last character? I think it is. It should be. It's like Black Battler, which is Culprit Battler. It's the embodiment... I'm reading this off the page. He is the embodiment of all theories that Battler is the culprit of the Rakenjima Massacre of 1986. It's just like, essentially, the Battler that you saw earlier that was like evil and was the son of Rudolph and Kyrie in that one theory. Such a cool concept, I guess, that he gets to be his own playable character in the fighting game. Neat. Fighting games are weird. I don't think it's really spoilers. Also, we already saw Evil Battler in the theory thing earlier. I was trying to think, like, if that's all... I feel like it is. I don't know. Probably. If I would just wait a little, I'll get to see all that, won't I? Pretty soon, all of you will be dead. But not me. I'm a spectator, I'm a spectator. A guest. There's absolutely no reason for me to die with you. He's breaking things. No one was able to say a word. In the still silence, where there was no sound except that of the rain, even Lem the Delta finally hung her head in dismay. I'm sorry. I'm totally lame, aren't I? Sure, if I stood up right now and said leave it to me, my popularity would surge and I'd probably make it to the top 3 in its character ranking contest. But still, unlike the rest of you, I'm not a character who appears in the story. I can't die. It's like it's midnight and you're telling me that the climax of the show is coming up next. But tomorrow's Monday and I've got early cleaning duty at school. I mean, Berncastell's not really supposed to be doing anything either. But here she is doing things anyway. So, you could do things. We live in completely different worlds. And the Delta staggered as though dizzy, then popped down into a chair. Then she became expressionless like a doll, just staring at a single point in space, silently. That's the smuggest, faceless, like, expressionless doll I've ever seen. Sorry. Battler softly apologized. However, the Delta remained expressionless. It's not fair for us to force you to risk something on your own. Not when we haven't yet exhausted all our options. You have. We'll fight here and defend this spot until the last moment. We'll believe in the miracle of Angie choosing us over the single truth. If we weren't prepared to do that, we could hardly ask you to give up your life along with the rest of us. Battler rose from his seat and spun around. Battler, I'll switch places with the pair outside. When the enemy comes, I want to be in the front lines. I was told that there had to be 2 people shutting the door. Well, maybe they're just going to leave the door open. That's fine. That's the fastest and most direct way I can show the Delta my determination. Yeah, he said they were just going to punch through it anyway. I shall go as well. Teacher, please find Lady Linda Delta some more popcorn. Beato. I know Angie will return. Without belief, even miracles that might have occurred will not. You can't win a lottery unless you buy a ticket. Words to live by, Beatrice. You can't win a lottery unless you buy a ticket. Beatrice, 1986. Beato also stood up and followed Battler. Everyone, let's do what we can to prepare for the fight. Yeah, it'd be stupid to just sit around here doing nothing. Good point. Let's at least give him a good show at the end. We've got to make sure there's a place Angie-chan can haul home. We should hold a strategic conference too. Yeah, we have furniture, weapons, demons, and inquisitors on our side. There's gotta be some way for these mismatched forces to cooperate. I forgot how to do Will's voice, and now I sound like Moist Critical. I'm not trying to make Will into critical. Shit. Let's go, little sisters. Break time is over. I can't do a MatPat voice. No, he doesn't have a MatPat voice. His voice would be way deeper. Chester Truth rise. The humans and illusions all rose to the feet and left the arbor. Afterwards, only Lambda Delta remained, still staring blankly to points in empty space. We were here like 10 minutes ago. We already know who's here. That black tea smells nice. Is it instant or from a tea bag? Would you like some too, Comrade Ava? We're out of cups, so you'll have to use a funnel. A gold butterfly drifted onto the balcony and turned into Ava. How's Baron Castell doing? Will it be a while longer before she breaks the seal in the Book of the Single Truth? That's what I came to talk about. She says the seal has been broken. Congratulations, so the time has finally come. The period to mark the end of your life. Take the key and go to Lady Baron Castell. One of her cat familiars will guide you. 2 emerald sparkles flew in. They were the green, glinting eyes of a black cat. The cat flicked its tail elegantly, with the dignity of a high-class attendant. How many more cats do you think Baron Castell has that are just anagrams of her name? Got it. Well, anagrams of her name with like a letter added, like Organization 13, basically. Got it. That'll be back in a bit. Angie rose from her seat. She did it casually, as she really was just heading out for a short trip. However, her lips would probably never touch her half-finished cup of tea again. We weren't together long, but I enjoyed it. Getting to learn what disgust for your own kind is like was an enlightening experience. Same here. Next time we meet, you'll have to teach me the trick to making tea this terrible. Are you happy? Now you'll finally get to learn that secret I've been hiding from you these past 12 years. I'm happy. Yeah, now I can understand how Erica feels. It's like I'm taking a shot back at you, exposing the secret that you kept until your death. And is it a good feeling? Well, it's better than nothing. Angie nodded towards the black cat to let it know that she was ready. The cat nodded back in a refined manner, indicated that it wanted Angie to follow, and leapt from the balcony. Without turning back, Angie followed it, jumping out into the air as though swimming. Ava watched her go. An expression of ridicule and scorn failed to cross her face. Good luck, Angie. This is the path you've chosen. You aren't 6 years old anymore. You're 18. Choose how to live your own life. What an overprotective aunt you are. I'm going to watch the ceremony. What about you? It's almost time to begin the attack, so I'm heading for the ships. Ava's like, wait, ships? What ships? Hold on. I've got to go pick up Beato's corpse. Everyone at the party can have her guts, but I get to keep her skin, so let's stuff and mount it. So even Archenjima's tale, which was wrapped in a veil of mysteries, is about to meet its end. Which means it's also the end for you. I mean, you are a piece from there, right? Oh, hi, Penny. Good girl. Oh, smallest cat. A piece is all I am. The role of a piece is to remain faithful to its role until the game ends. It's not a piece's place to worry about what happens after the game is over. True, and it's the same for me. Let's both enjoy this time while we have it. Well then, allow me to take my leave. Hi, honey. Later. Good luck with your work. After exchanging elegant bows, the 2 witches vanished at the same time. Nothing remained except some half-finished teacups and the aroma of the tea itself. Look. Look close, you can see a little paw reaching up. One after another, luxury cars stopped in front of a high-class hotel in the city, and guests began to step out of them. Hey, Professor Otsky. Oh, what a surprise. I haven't seen you since the last convention. All the guests gathered here were very rich and cultured. A single hobby tied all of them together. They were witch hunters, like-minded people who enjoyed exploring various interpretations of the Archenjima mystery. Still, I wonder if it's really true, to think that this diary of Ushirime Eva's actually exists. True, I've heard the rumors myself. This is that legendary secret diary, which Ushirime Eva hid away just before her death. It is said that she recorded the details of Archenjima's truth in there. Avery, get out of there. Out. No. Don't cause trouble. Oh. Don't cause trouble when I have Penny in my lap. He's someone who studied the Rokenjima incident a lot. He's a fanatic. Probably. He's a random 2-off guy. He's shown up once before. In, one of Angie's things. He probably has his own message board. Just like that fable of the king with the donkey's ears. Humans are tragic creatures, incapable of keeping truly silent regarding secrets only they could know. Hahaha. From what I've heard, a collector from Dubai offered to buy it for $10 million. Incredible. More evidence of the fascination that Rokenjima mystery is capable of stirring. He's like 60 or 70-year-old Matt Pat, sure. Maybe someday he'll end up like that. Conversations like this were breaking up passionately all over the place. If Umineko took place another 30 or 40 years in the future, Press Otsuki would probably have a gold YouTube play button. Furthermore, it wasn't just guests who were allowed to enter. The press was also there in force. The Rokenjima mystery was such a large movement that it became a social phenomenon at one point. Though it had died down slightly in recent years, it was still a topic fiercely debated across the internet. It was hardly any surprise that the discovery and imminent release of Ushimiya Ewa's diary, which contained the truth of that mystery, had caused an uproar. And on top of all that, the mysterious forger, Naku Koro, was to appear publicly for the first time. I didn't think anything of it, but yeah, you're right. In fact, it seemed that Naku Koro and Hachijo Toya, the up-and-coming mystery novelist, were the same person. I don't, but I guess I'll find out. Of course, this meant that Hachijo Toya would also be appearing in public for the first time. Though she was thought to be a male author, the fact that she was actually a mysterious woman author alone was enough to cause a stir. Before the diary unveiling party, a press conference was held in one of the rooms of the hotel. Indeed, I am Hachijo Toya. Madam Hachijo, we now know that in your previous book signings, you were so determined not to show yourself that you even used a body double. So what has caused you to change your mind and appear before us this time? The legend of the Rokenjima witch has given birth to endless tales. Considering the weight of such a legend's demise, and being the mere writer that I am, I feel obligated to show myself as a sign of respect. As a forger, you announced on the web that you would reach the truth. Does that mean you've already read the contents of that diary? And very soon, those contents will be revealed to everyone. Pardon me for asking, but is there any guarantee that the contents of this diary are the truth? One might view it as nothing more than a personal account from a single deceased person. Not at all. I guarantee it. The truth is recorded. You can't just say read text to the press. They don't understand that. The truth is recorded in this diary. Oh, a stir passed through the crowd and the room is suddenly filled with camera flashes. Okay, great, thanks. I'm sure they're going to trust that. This ends Madame Hachijo's interview. Let's to express our deep gratitude towards all members of the press for coming on this day. No, we know this can't actually be happening because no one is ever grateful for the press to show up anyway. And now we would like to move on and allow you to take photos of Madame Ushimiya Ewa's diary. A hotel worker pushed forward a cart covered by a veil. Then, after looking to Hachijo for approval, he removed the veil. There lay Ushimiya Ewa's diary. The book of the single truth sat there, waiting for its seal to be released. Hachijo held it to her chest and laughed enigmatically. Camera flashes came from everywhere, making the book of the single truth glint. And that is all for now. If you would all please move to the assembly hall. Still holding the diary, Hachijo left the press conference room, escorted by men from the hotel. Until she went through a door that said authorized personnel only, the journalists continued to surround her and ask questions, hoping to gather just one more comment. When the door slammed shut, the world twisted. The hotel employees became black cats wearing capes. Aw. Penny jumped down. Hachijo had turned into Featherine. Things are getting pretty crazy out there. Did you enjoy it? How tiring. Still, that went well. And yet, this diary truly is heavy. Featherine tossed the diary, and Brink still caught it. I will rest in one of the waiting rooms. You're going to be up again pretty soon. There's no time to rest. In that case, call this short break so that I can properly enjoy this long-awaited excitement. I need to borrow the book. I risked Angie that I'd show her first. I see. In that case, do as you please. Wow, Brink is still making an effort to keep a promise. Well, she did say it in red. Featherine left, followed by her cat attendants. After watching her until she was out of sight, Brink Castell disappeared as well. Like Erica's room, Brencastell's was a balcony without a handrail, dug out of a bookshelf cliff. Angie had been kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her. I'm late, aren't I? Sorry about that. After Brinkastell appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished. Here you go. I brought it with me. The book of the single truth. Can I touch it? Do as you like. Brinkastell stood out on the table and beckoned Angie forward. Slowly, Angie approached it. So, this is Anteo's diary. That's right. Inside it, you'll find the single truth that you wanted. You do have the key, right? Yes. Right here. Angie took the key up, looked at it there on her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even the heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Angie readied herself. I won't rush you. You don't have to open it until you're ready. This includes the truth of what happened at midnight on October 5th, 1986, right? I guess Angie doesn't know what happened at midnight on October 5th, 1986. Even though we do. Yes, it is everything that you wanted to know so much. You offered up your life. I mean, isn't that kind of, like, common knowledge by this point, though? You know, the explosion? Midnight is kind of, like, the least mysterious part from the outside perspective. In that instant, two Angies appeared inside of her, taking control of her body at the same time. On the one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to learn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to avoid a second of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now, at the final moment, with the book of the single truth right before her. On the other hand, a feeling as though she was betraying the brother and family who watched her warmly made her bite her lower lip. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as a ray hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary is the final destination of my sad, painful, 12-year-long journey. Wasn't 12 years enough? Do you want to keep living that way? That brother is an illusion created by my heart. My naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two options on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time, it felt as though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of the intricate design had fallen off. I couldn't tell where it was broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason, its golden glint seemed dulled somehow. It's because you made your choice with that key. A bit of magic has disappeared. What kind of magic? Didn't Battler tell you? He said you couldn't hand that over to anyone else. That magic, which left the decision to you, has just fulfilled its role and disappeared. That key is just a key now. And it can't do anything but lock and unlock the diary. I see. Then I guess I have no more use for Oni-chan's key. Can I have it? Once you've read the diary, I'll lock it up again. Opening that lock will be a big part of tonight's ceremony, it seems. I see. Do whatever you want. I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Brinkastell slid the key from where it lay on the table and put it into her pocket. Go ahead then, before the courage that led you here fades. I lifted up Anteo's now unlocked diary. The lock was unset. Even the hinge had been released by now. Nothing stands in the way of me opening to? I guess that's fine. Opening to the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath. However, I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. I'd be so stupid to fuel my reluctance further. I opened it. Violently, ruthlessly. I knew that this was the right way to open to the pages that held the truth. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant light poured out and my mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly without letters or words. Tell me, what happened that day on Arkanjima? Fair, Ava was just one single viewpoint. She doesn't necessarily even understand everything. She probably doesn't know anything about, Yasu and all that in particular. Maybe like bits and pieces. Very rough bits and pieces, if anything. My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was written in the open book before me. Of course, this was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school, just sitting idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In the swirl of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about in the shadows of the unmoving students. They were students with goat heads. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen students, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody. Everybody knows. One after another, students with goat heads grew out of shadows all over the room. They slipped around all the students stopped in time and gathered around me. Then, they all jeered at something in unison, and, as if they knew I could hear, showered me with giggles and gossip and sneers. However, nothing that came from the goats' mouths reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me, so I knew what it was they were saying. And then, when I was able to visualize it, one after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, showing their fangs that dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. That wasn't literally true. However, I was pretending that I couldn't hear, so I couldn't move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fang marks, licking me. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. I was covered with drool and bitten all over. Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up that blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. As I hung my head, one of the goats pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up, and spoke. Didn't say it with concepts, but with words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were a witch's words. The red truth, which signifies truth that is certain. This is the truth of the Rakanjima incident. I won't accept it. Doesn't matter if you accept it or not. This is the truth. After all, something, 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 something. Many things. I won't accept it. I won't. I won't accept the truth like that. Like that. Whether you accept it or not, that doesn't change the truth. After all, this is the single truth, proven in Reed. Arthur, Jonathan, Red Truth. Who cares about the truth? So stupid, so pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? No. Even if it's red truth, I won't acknowledge it, won't forgive it, definitely won't accept it. The red truth is absolute. Who for? It's absolute for you guys, right? Not for me. I won't let you contaminate my truth with yours. Angie, calm down. You're the one who wanted to know, right? Hahaha. My truth is that Aunt Eva's the culprit. Aunt Eva killed everyone. Everything's her fault. Dad and Mom and Onicha and all the others are just victims. It's no one else's fault. No one's fault. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. Your aunt will always be on your side, Anji-chan. Yeah, I get it now. I know what you meant. That's right, Aunt Eva. You're the culprit. You're the culprit. It's the world that's messed up and broken for not realizing that. I'm the right one. I'll deny the red truth. Deny the whole world. I see. In that case, try writing a red truth only you can write. But how is it possible for a human to write with red truth? It is possible. There's a red ink that only humans can write with. Anji-san, please calm down. I'm the right one. The world's wrong. I'll write it. I'll record the truth with the real red truth. 20. Requesting urgent support on the roof. Anji-san, hold on. Please think this over. Look out. Goodbye, Angie. Have a nice day. I'll write it out. This is my blood red truth. I'll never accept the truth of your world. Angie's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air, which she had once been able to swim through, was now completely merciless for some reason. Angie's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Rin Castell just watched the scene play out in silence. Behind her, men in black suits rushed up to the fence, clutching it and screaming. The Wanty, Angie said, jumped off. Damn, I can't see her from here. Go quickly, investigate the ground area. It's no use, there's no way. Maybe she was caught by that safety net. Well, let's make sure. Scratch my jaw. What fools. If you jump straight down from this height, do you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you? Schrodinger's water bucket. As the Witch of Miracles, I, Brent Castell, guarantee that such a miracle certainly won't occur. Say it in red. You didn't say it in red. means nothing. Let me see. Okay, I think I see where I am in here. Okay, this is probably all live that's playing right now, if I had to guess. Most likely. Angie's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. Well, yeah, that's a very different thing, though. And a happy ending could be subjective. Someone hitting the ground and dying is not subjective. Unless. Let's not get into ways to get around death with a red truth quite yet. Looking down from Bryn Castell's balcony, which was as high as the skyscraper's roof, did it look like a lovely red-pressed flower? No, you couldn't see it at all. Just like how the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world didn't matter to anyone in the world. She probably died instantly. It was only natural. She had fallen straight down from the site after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? The index finger on the right hand of her corpse stuck out as though it was tracing something. Could it be that, by some impossible miracle, she really had escaped an instant death? And could the red blood that had drained from her at the moment of her death have been the ink that drew her own personal red truth? You could have used ketchup, Angie. Ketchup is the one red truth that only humans can use. We just don't like ketchup. However, no one would ever be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all. Even this was one of your choices, Angie. Ava was looking down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Angie's corpse. We sure do get to see Angie die a lot. Well, I guess we see that for a lot of characters actually, don't we? Anyway. But it's funny that we get to see a character who isn't even in the murders die so much. I tried to keep you alive. However, you never tried to live in the future that began after the age of 6. And so, after 12 years, you finally returned to where you started. The eyes on Angie's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Eventually, the corpse began to melt away. At the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt? You managed to die. However, this doesn't mean that everyone will be waiting for you in heaven. After all, you reached this place by rejecting all of those in heaven. See you in hell. No, that's probably where we are right now. So long, Angie. Ooh. It's a bit harsh, don't you think, Aunt Ava? Ah, Ava. Perfect timing. Did you call for me, my master? Clean up this scrap meat for me, if you wouldn't mind. I'm going to take this back. In Bryn Castell's hands were the key, which had lost its magic when Angie made her decision, and the book of the single truth, which had been locked up again. As you wish, my master. After looking down one more time, Bryn Castell vanished. When she had gone, Ava summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cats gathered Angie's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into a tin bucket. Even in this miserable form, Angie's soul was still living. Perhaps living is a poor description. She was unable to die. From now on, forever, she would drift along the deep steps of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion, until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories, and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Angie had forgotten even her own name. What's this sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever's shining those bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I wasn't capable of moving even a finger. There was sound and a car door opened. car. Door. Okay, fine, Junie, come on. Have lappies instead. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. And she survived fall? Got more mats, Junie. She hates being brushed and having her mats picked out, but she gets a lot of them because of the breed that she is. You were born unlucky, Junie. You're born pretty, though. You're very cute. I saw a shadow, which was apparently the driver, open an umbrella and come towards me. Is this your backyard? The shadow questioned me. Of course, I couldn't answer it. If it is, then I must apologize. Yes, on a day with such fine weather, anyone would want to take a nap in such a lovely backyard as this. And yet, unless my memory fails me, the shadow crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman. This is a public highway you're sleeping on. Do you want to become roadkill? Or maybe you already are roadkill. Well now, which one is it? I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer somehow and communicate my intentions. So finally, I managed to let a short groan escape my lips. I see. So you aren't roadkill yet. And that was how I met Yukuko. She almost ran me over with her car. The patient's body is in a very frail condition. Some sort of memory loss is very probable as well. We won't know for sure until the CT scan, but there may even be brain damage. It's lucky that damage is all we have to deal with. Any longer in a spot like that, and it would likely have been much worse. True. In any event, I recommend getting this checked at a large hospital. Thank you, doctor. Please keep this off the record. It may not be much, but here's some money for your troubles. I see no reason to speak of this needlessly, but... No, I couldn't possibly accept that much. In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Hachijo returned. Oh, you are awake. How do you feel? I nodded weakly, letting her know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? A room I have absolutely no memory of, and a house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman I've never seen. To start off, let me introduce myself. I'm Hachijo Ikuko. Feel free to casually call me Ikuko, or act more formal and call me Hachijo-san. Hachijo Ikuko. The Hachijo family owns a large amount of land and is fairly famous in these parts. Unlike my accomplished brothers, I'm what you might call a little eccentric. I got into a bit too much mischief, and my parents finally ran out of patience and kicked me out. I'm now confined to this house. As a hobby, I like to read detective novels, and also to write them. My age is a single woman's secret. My heart is that of a girl, but I'm approaching the point where calling myself one becomes increasingly absurd. With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to cheer me up. So what's your name? My name. Logically, I know that, being a human, I must have a name. And I do have the feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt. Can you remember anything besides your name? Who am I? My head, no, even my heart was a mess of torn flesh, and I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember. That's some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember that, I first have to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born, and what was my birthday? I need to remember something, anything. Age. Age? That's my little secret. 18. I look like I'm 18? I'm 18. Oh, so that was your age. Well now, I thought you were being a bit too flattering. When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, the number 18 felt a bit out of place. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older. I see. So you're 18. And that's all you can remember. I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel this powerless. In that case, until you remember your name, let's give you the name Toya, written with the characters for 18 until you remember. Hachijo Toya. What do you think? That sounds pretty cool. Yes, I must say I've impressed myself very much with that one. Hachijo Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hachijo Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I'd been hit by a car, and Ikuko had picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards, thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, perhaps rudely, I suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself, but when I saw a completely undamaged front bumper, I gave up on that theory. Hachijo Ikuko lived in a small but lovely mansion on the top of a small hill, in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned the hill behind her and was more than capable of enjoying the four seasons in privacy. As time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued, and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed I really did suffer some sort of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much that it felt like it would explode. However, I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person with the new name of Hachijo Toya. The headaches became less frequent. That whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I'd been 18. However, I wasn't able to remember any more, unable even to be sure that 18 was my true age, and eventually, I stopped trying to remember my former self. Good morning, Toya. That was quite the storm last night. Were you able to sleep well? I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript. My, how far did you manage to get? I finished it. Now there's a surprise. You managed to read through all that in a single night. I was surprised too. Once I got into it, I'd finished before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe like I was taking in each page with just a glance. It sounds like you have some talent at speed reading. So how was it? What did you think of it? I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain that part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a bit unfair for a detective novel. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there at the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and slap myself for being so easily tricked. I think giving people that feeling is what detective novels do best. Did I say something to offend you? If I did, you have my apologies. Of course not. Why are you apologizing? I'm just shocked, that's all. Your detailed opinions are worthy of praise, I believe. It seems you have some talent as a critic or a detective novel writer, too. A detective novel writer. A critic. From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery. Fighting. My head hurts. I took a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. From what I've been told, the frequency of the headaches might be lessened by brain surgery, but there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikuko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember, the real me is still there, sleeping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches, and got used to my new life as Hachijo Toya. Gradually, my interest shifted from myself to Ikuko. Hachijo Ikuko, a very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she has said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. When I wasn't around, she only ever talked to an old black cat she kept as a pet, named Burn. I don't know her real age. She doesn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but with an isolated life like this, she isn't likely to meet people. She sometimes says that she just hasn't met anyone worth the trouble, but I think she's already given up on marriage. Her everyday life was very simple. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat, plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscript she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she ever let anyone read them. A novelist is someone who writes novels for people to read. So I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever see. Ikuko-san, why don't you ever show these to anyone? I show them to you. Only the better ones, of course. Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a waste otherwise, when your works are so interesting. My works can't stand up against the pros. I sent one in once, but it was absolutely no good. I understand my position. This is just an amateur's pastime. I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and all across the world. Being a big eater doesn't mean you'll make a good cook. Reading every detective novel you can get your hands on is no guarantee that you're a good detective novelist. That's how it is. That's why this is nothing more than a pastime. Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone? It used to be. Once. What about now? I like getting to hear your opinions. At any rate, I finished writing the chapter. I'll go make some tea, so would you mind reading it again and sharing your thoughts with me? Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. I'm convinced that, whether you read detective novels or write them, they're boring if you're all on your own. Gotta get this mat off, Juniper. Have another one, honey. Come on. Don't bite me. Don't you do that now. Dummy. That's a bit better. You can only find something really precious when you share that world with someone else. Headache. Toya? Are you okay? I'll go get some headache medicine. I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. The seasons passed. Together with Ikuko, in this town whose name I didn't even know, we spent our days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unproductive days. However, Hachijo Toya found satisfaction with his new life. I kinda have a reason for not really commenting on this section too much at the moment. Just pay attention, I guess. And so, the curtain closes on the strange tale of Kurukubi Island. The end. With a dramatic flourish of her pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete. What do you think? I tried using your plot to make Tsujiko, that's something I've never heard, Tsujiko's tragic love scene at the end a bit more moving. I think it's very good. I see the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, not just a reasoning puzzle. That's all thanks to your plot. Compared to this work, everything I've written before now is worth little more than scrap paper. Even as I was writing it, I was excited to be the first person in the world who got to read it. I've never felt that before. I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. At some point, she roped me in as well, and I too started my journey in the world of writing detective novels. Apparently, the old me had some talent for mysteries and detective novels and the like, and my talent seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. I tried turning famous mysteries from across the world on their head, twisting those ideas into something new. Flipping the chessboard. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a book. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. Thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she'd built over many years, my ideas were transformed into a work of fiction. In this work, The Strange Tale of Kurokubi Island, the two of us merged the best of our respective personalities, and, though I hate to brag, it had turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame. Hello? Please bring us some champagne. Bring a glass for yourself as well. This is the best job we've done so far, so let's celebrate. Ikuko called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joining the servant who happened to be working the day, and the cat, Bren, we raised our glasses high and toasted her accomplishment. Ikuko-san, I have an idea if you don't mind. Let's hear it. I love hearing your ideas, as long as I'm not in the shower on the can. Wow. Why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read anything this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it. You think so? I tried once in the past, thinking the same thing, but the result was... I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you? Of course, I believe in your talent. Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut. To Toya's big debut. We clinked our glasses once more. And on it went. It's hard being comfy with such a big cat on your lap. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikuko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the study, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was glowing. Outside, it had started to rain. It reminded me of the day Ikuko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I find myself wondering who I was. And I usually get headaches. So I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Ikuko-san, turn on the lights. Using a computer in the dark is bad for your eyes. Oh, did I wake you up? No, I slept well. I feel refreshed now. I turned on the light and looked out through a gap in the curtains. as I thought it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. I'd love to see how they'd animate this section in the anime. It would be really good. I can't say why quite yet. Actually, they'd have a hard time. They'd have to get really creative with it. It's raining pretty hard out there. The wind looks pretty strong too. Oh, the rain gutters don't get clogged with the leaves again. I just cleaned them the other day, so they should be fine for a while. Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently, her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by the computer lately, Akiko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something? It may be a bit juvenile, but it's still pretty interesting. It's about that Aokajima incident. At Aokajima. I told you about an Aokajima mystery a few days ago, remember? It's been really huge in the net lately. Discussions, theories, and even the forgeries have been quite entertaining. Forgeries are stories all based on the premise that yet another message bottle signed by Yoshimi Maria existed and drifted to one of the nearby islands. Then fiction about a real-life incident. Ikuko kept showing off her knowledge of the subject. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head was split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head. Toya, are you okay? My head hurts. The Aokajima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives who were after Ushidome Kinzo's vast wealth of the hidden gold. And the truth? Ushidome Eba, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually, everything would be inherited by the granddaughter, Ushidome Angie, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day. Angie, Ushidome Angie. I am Ushidome. Yeah. No good. My head's getting split open. Incomprehensible scenes pierce my eyelids from the inside like blades of light. Just what am I looking at? Who are these people calling to me, but not by the name Toya? Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Ikuko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. I forgot how good this part of the episode it was. I could hear the sorrowful sound of wind. And that must be rain. Who was I again? I'm Ushidome. Angie. Please say something. Voices calling to me. Dad and Mom. It can't be. 1986 on Aokajima. Mom and Dad. Angie, hang in there. Can you hear Daddy's voice? Please say something. Angie. Dad, Mom. I'll say it out loud. Dad, Mom. Angie, thank goodness. I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids had been open for a while now. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like how your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light, and bit by bit, the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Dad and Mom. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. There were tears in Mom's eyes too as she held me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. They held me with all their strength. Me, the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, and who always tried to do the opposite of what our parents said. They held me tight to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. Giorgio Ni-chan, Jessica Ne-chan, Mario Ne-chan, my uncles and aunts. Even Sakutaro. And there was the witch Virgilia, and Ronove, and... Where? You were fortunate. By chance, we found you drifting in the waves of the Sea of Emptiness. You were in a terrible state. It took quite some time to make you remember your true form. Beatrice, so this is... the Golden Land. Your whole family's been waiting here for you to return. We knew you would come home. Did I come home because I was supposed to? I've gone back to home supposed to be, and now... No, you did come home. That's right. You made it back here because you wanted to come home to us. Dad, Mom, You don't need to say anything. You've been on a great and terrible journey, haven't you? A journey where you were all alone. You understand now, don't you? You won't forget again? I understand, Dad. This is A place you can always call home. I know. When I gave that answer, Dad and Mom hugged me again. Now tears fell into my face. They were Dad's and Mom's tears. I can tell by looking that you're far from alright, but I'm so glad. Glad you came home. Aunt Ava. Feel free to hate me as much as you want. Give your dad and mom a million kisses. Give a kiss to everyone who cared about you so much. Aunt Ava. And say I'm home to your other mother. Mom gave me a push from behind and I stumbled forwards. Towards my other mother. Ava. Mom. Anji-chan. If only I'd called you Mom on that day, I might never have messed up. We might have been able to create a new world together. That's enough. You've come home. You don't need to say anything else. Mom. Mom. Welcome home, Anji-chan. You're my adorable daughter. Mom. Always and until the end, my closest friend. The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces in the other's shoulders and sobbing. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. In the first place, the truth is always in the past. The point of the future isn't to learn what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I can truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. If I truly live and prosper, that is the truth. Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in that past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. The whole desk is yours. I just want to see exactly where I am here. But I think I can still go for a little while longer. Oh man, there's actually still a lot left. But that's fine. If I do some today, some more tomorrow, and then finish on the 5th. I think it still works out. This is what the real truth is. I think I'll finish this section. Let me see where that is. I think it's like a couple more slow transitions. I will live. And I remembered how much everyone loved me. Because I was young and selfish, I didn't even remember it until now. Yeah, I know, I'm not gonna do the fight stuff today. Not today. The kind grandpa who always spoiled me. The entertaining aunts and uncles. All the kind and gentle servants. It was always warm. And Goto was there too. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never tried to remember any of that. Everyone got distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot the truth. Where's the mod that adds Goto's portrait so he's present in every single scene, reacting to what happens, just silently in the past? Including the scenes where he's already present. We get like meta Goto. Now I can remember clearly, and I understand. That Halloween quiz party certainly was an illusion. That's actually how it is in the manga, it's hilarious. I guess he'd have to be sometimes. You know, because there's gonna be more background characters than there are, like, characters drawn on screen here. Otherwise it looks weird because they're just missing. Oh, my phone went off. It never happened. However, didn't we do all kinds of fun things when the relatives gathered? Things that were no more or less fun than that party? And for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles. To thank the cousins for always playing with me even though I was so selfish. And I thanked and apologized to the illusions. I think I said something horrible to Sakura once in the past. And to Mario Ne-chan too. Mario Ne-chan, you really were a witch, weren't you? I've always been a witch. You approached that level yourself once, didn't you? No, I never really understood. Pitiful Mario Ne-chan with a pitiful magic. That's all I thought of it. So, I couldn't pick up a fragment of happiness. Couldn't even find one. You told me that yourself once, Ne-chan. It can't be helped. It takes two to create a universe. I had Beato, but you were all alone. No, if I had called Aunt Eva Mom, there would have been two of us. I'm sure I would have been able to create a new world with the same magic you used, Mario Ne-chan. All of it is my fault. The message bottles I threw away half-jokingly distorted your future and wore you down. I bear responsibility for that. Yeah, seriously. It's all because of your message bottles. Because of that, people started copying you and making forgeries, growing the story into something crazy. However, the message bottles thrown away by Beato did not name a specific person as the culprit. One of the forgers wrote a plausible theory that had Ushidame Eva as the culprit, and it spread like a wildfire. Even though I should have known better than anyone else that it was impossible, I accepted it in the end. It isn't your fault, Beato. No matter how many people around me had baseless suspicions, there should have been only one truth inside me. And yet, so easily, I abandoned my warm memories of you all, and surrendered my heart to them. No, no. If I had not thrown away the message bottles, the future of Rakenji would never have become the center of such bizarre misconceptions. I bear responsibility for it all. True. That's right, it really is your fault after all. Put that way, it's a little irritating. You do have your share of the blame as well. Juniper, get out of there, come on. Out there. And everyone mutually hates each other. Happily ever after. Yeah, you're right. You were at fault and so was I. Still, it'd be stupid for us to attack each other. Hey. After all, I'm a witch to the future. You're a witch to the past. I should be using that magic to build my future. We both bear responsibility in some way. But neither of us has the right to blame the other. I knew you'd be able to understand Marriage Sorcery's teachings, Angie. That's right. As the final member of Marriage Sorcery, it's my responsibility to pass on Oni-chan's magic. My magic can make everyone happy. Indeed. You have both pure magic and wicked magic at your fingertips. That's true. Magic can change completely depending on your heart. If you aren't properly guided, you can't use magic properly, and proper magic can bring people happiness. It is a wonderful thing. Bringing people happiness is the sole reason that witches wield magic. I am very pleased to know that those teachings have been passed down through the endless witches all the way to the final witch. Sorry for failing to pass it down myself at all. Witch of the future, Angie Beatrice, I will now retract your expulsion from Marriage Sorcery. Everyone gets to be a witch. Who do you? I knew Angie would come back. You can't go back there. Get out of there. Congratulations, Anji-sama. I thought I knew what the time we spent traveling together meant, and yet Sorry. I'm so sorry. Witches cannot create a universe unless there are two. In the future, you will be alone. Will you really be okay? Yeah, I'll be okay. I'm not alone anymore. I'll live. With everyone. And I'll live in the future. I swear to keep living so that I can pass on the magic of Marriage Sorcery. My own Oni-chan's magic has saved me too. There are a lot of people out there who need magic. As the final witch of Marriage Sorcery, it's my duty to teach it the right way and save as many people as I can. Will you truly be able to do so? Of course. I have the power to do it. There's the golden magic that my predecessor, Ava Beatrice, spent so much time building. I've inherited all of that, right? Well, if only my health had held out a little longer. I was planning to spend it all on myself. As Angie laughed, tears poured from her eyes again. Everyone surrounded Angie with their kind, warm smiles. Bowler stood alone in the rose guard maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Angie found him. Oni-chan. Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in her brother's expression, so she thought he was going to hit her. Wow. Angie, come on. She shut her eyes. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently. Hey. The truth wasn't anything important, was it? No, it wasn't. Even though you were here, waiting for me to come home in such a warm world, I had my back turned the whole time. You'll learn the truth. Yeah. So any hopes you had of someone miraculously surviving and coming back have been crushed. However, you now have a new mission, a hope for living in the future. You kept that precious hope safe for me. I was the one who opened the box and let it get away. It turned out worse than Pandora's box. A truth I didn't need to know flew out of the box, along with all my hopes, leaving nothing inside but empty space. That's okay. It's open now, and that's that. If it's empty inside, that means it won't fester. After all, false hopes can sometimes bring you pain. Battling laughed heartily. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her. We're already dead. Yeah. You've lived 12 years in the hope that we might still be alive. Not anymore. That's over and done with. Yeah. I know. Starting now, I'll step forward into a new life. Beato put Rakenji in the cat box. The next witch, Anteva, guarded the lid of that cat box her whole life. You, the witch after, opened that lid. But so what? Why does the truth of the past matter? Yeah, from now on, I'll truly live. I'll make my own personal truth prosper. Good luck, final witch of Marriage Sorcery. I've read Maria's Grimoire. It's a great book with some really good stuff written in it. Even the Bible needs a translator, so Maria's Grimoire probably needs one too. You'll be that translator. You've got to teach kids who are in the position you once were. That's your mission as the new witch of the future. Yeah, I'm gone. I'll always be behind you, watching over you. You can't go behind my monitor. No, no, no. Oh. I played around too much and spilled the drink. Hold on. Monster on things. My poor mouse pad. A little bit in my keyboard too. Let's see, I'll take these keys off and then try to keep going while I clean. Oh, no. I didn't even know what I just hit. Okay, hold on. Just let me save just in case I accidentally do something here. That save is fine too. I'm trying to remove my numpad keys. Because I got watermelon monster in them. I know. I can play with my left hand. And not just you. Everyone else too. All of us will love you forever. Don't forget that. I won't forget. Not ever, and that's for certain. Okay, it might be... Hold on. Trying to remove the fat plus button without pressing it. There we go. Sorry to ruin the moment. Funny thing is, I just cleaned my keyboard a few days ago too. Not like super thoroughly, but like I got all the keys off and blew it out with compressed air and got all the cat hair and junk out. Alright. Alright, Don't really know what to do. Just flipping my keyboard over here. I don't really have a good way of drying it. It's not that bad, mind you. There really isn't that much. But if I don't deal with it, I'm sure it's going to be sticky, even if it is sugar-free monster. Okay, I think I can resume playing now. Humans are sad creatures, who can learn but not unlearn. She had already learned. It may have been a cruel, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. I really need, like... I have a Q-tip right here, actually. Convenient. I just really hope that this won't end up sticky. Gotta get a new mouse pad sometime. I've been using this one too long. Anyway, let me get to the end of the scene, and I'll wrap up. I guess I was gonna maybe keep going a bit longer, but yeah. Her family's love. If she can just remember that and hold it tight, then surely Angie will live on. She'll be able to stop before taking a single step into nothingness. Also, the Arcangema cat box hasn't been opened completely. You've just taken a peek at what's inside. So you must be the lid yourself. And this time, you'll protect everyone inside the cat box. Me and Dad and Kirie-san, the cousins, and the uncles and the aunts, grandfather and the servants, Dr. Nanjo too, and all the illusions. Yeah, this time I have to protect everyone. You know, it's weird that they didn't have a single pet. No dogs, no cats, nothing on the islands. Just a bunch of wild seagulls. How sad. Shouldn't you hurry up a bit? The sound of popcorn being eaten rang out from beyond a rose bush. I've never heard the sound of popcorn being eaten ring out before, but okay. They have Sakutaro. Not on the island, they don't. Maybe Mario brings him, that's about it. It was in the Delta. I think you know this already, but Byrne is just about to hold a big party for the Book of the Single Truth. She's gathered beings from heaven and from hell, from the spirit world and from parallel worlds. If she announces what's in that book in a place like that, it'll be too late, won't it? I'm going. I gave Byrne Castell that key. It's my responsibility. I'll go and take it back. The City of Books, huh? Well, there's no way for us to get in. There's a barrier around that place. She gave me this. With it, I can come and go as I please. What an idiot. She forgot to collect it when she threw me away. Angie fished through her pocket and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it. That's it. One of those temporary entry passes that you get when you turn in your invitation. As long as you have that, at least one of you will be able to get into the City of Books. Well, as long as someone takes you across the Sea of Fragments first. I'm the Delta. Take me to the City of Books. Angie, this is my way of taking responsibility. I'll see to it that the Book of the Single Truth isn't made public. Well, why would anything in it contradict Toho? How would that even make any sense? Are you serious? That place is a den of monsters among monsters. If the evolves Byrne's protection, you'll be weaker than a fly. Squish, the end. I mean, here's the thing. We see Toho cosplay before Toho existed in our world, so does that mean that the cosplay somehow intermingles and, like, inspires the look of the real characters? Or they got insider information from Gensokyo, and Gensokyo exists in the Umineko universe? Or does it mean that in the Umineko universe, Zun somehow saw those designs and they inspired him when he made Toho? You can go one of two ways with it. Ah, the bell was snatched from Angie's hands. I'm the Delta. I'll go. I just need you to get me in there. After all, I'm an empty creature, unable to exist outside the cat box. Angie, on the other hand, must live on into the future. And you're a person with a future too, so I'll go. I have nothing to lose. No, this is my responsibility, my way of making up for what I did. If I don't do it myself, the future won't change at all. I won't be able to save any future cat boxes. Angie tried to snatch the key from Balor's hand, but Balor had no intention of giving it up. The two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines, it looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. And Adolda watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just took one of them to the City Books, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting, nothing else. But then she finally noticed. Hold on. Let's bring Goda. Hold on a sec, you two, hold on. What's your problem? Save it for later. We're having an important sibling discussion here. Okay, first off, let go of each other's hands. Balor's holding the bell now, right? Jump, Balor. Jump? Like this? You next, Angie. Try jumping. Why the hell should I... Eh? Why? If Balor was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Angie hurriedly searched through her pockets. When she did, another blue ribbon Another blue ribbon bell came out of a different pocket than the first one. These are the same, aren't they? No way. Why are there two? I was only given one of them. I don't know why. At any rate, you've got two bells, and that'll get you into the City of Books. Now I don't have to sit here and watch the two of you play around with each other anymore. The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other. From the very beginning, this game has belonged to the two of you. There's just been a slight change in who the opponent is. This isn't a competition between you two. It's a fight between Balor and Angie, who want to close the lid in the cat box, and Byrne, who wants it opened. Angie has moved from Byrne's team to Balor's team. That's all there is to it. I'm the Delta. Take us to the City of Books. Okay, I'm just taking you there, got it? After that, I'm done being anything but a spectator. I just want to have the best seats to see exactly how you fight, what you do, and how Byrne makes mincemeat out of you all. I'm the Delta. Thanks. Alright, let me just look at the summary on the wiki here. We got one section, one incredibly long section. Yeah, I think 2 more streams will do for this. I think I can make it work in 2 streams, probably. So, slightly short stream today, because the next section will take a while. My mouse is sticky because it has Monster on it. And it's very distracting. So, that's where I wrap up for the day. And now I'm in the save slot again. Okay.